Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris, and it's a beautiful day for Spider-Man fans. We finally got the second trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home after the way Avengers Endgame left us. We are all wondering how this future is gonna continue. And before even continuing on any further, just like Tom Holland said, this will contain spoilers for Avengers Endgame. So if you have not watched the movie, you can't even see the trailer. So go and buy a ticket now. But what I'm gonna be doing here for you is breaking down the trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home, showing you things you might have missed, a little backstory from the comics that might apply to this movie, but really just gushing all over it because I like this trailer. So without further ado, let's go ahead and break down the trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, after Tom Holland's PSA of the spoiler warning for Avengers Endgame, it starts off with the way we're all wondering, why was Peter so damn happy in that first trailer? But now we know in the first trailer they were just trying to do everything not to spoil the movie, and with this one right here, it's finally giving us that closure that we were wanting with the character of Peter. Obviously, he's going to be devastated and hurt of the loss of his mentor. And it looks like the world is as well. There's a few memorials in this trailer, and this is one of the nicer ones that I'm sure Peter's always running into. If anything in this trailer is going to give you flashbacks of Endgame and start your waterworks again, it's this shot right here of Tom Holland. You could see how broken and torn the man is. This is something I'm really happy that they included because it's telling you, no, this Peter is sad. He's not all happy and giddy like the first trailer. He's dealing with the loss of Tony Stark. All paired up with that touching line from Happy Hogan saying, I don't think Tony would have done what he was going to if he knew you would still be here, kid. Which, I mean, it was true. The whole reason Tony was even motivated to do his mission in Avengers Endgame was to bring Peter back. From there, we're gonna get what probably is the opening of Spider-Man Far From Home. Him taking down some thugs at a restaurant who looks like they're gonna rob the place. Spider-Man is still in his Iron Spider suit from Avengers Endgame, and I love when the movies start out this way, when Spider-Man is just taking care of some petty crimes around the city. We know this is a guy who's been in space, fought aliens, has been involved in basically World War III of the MCU, but it's still good to know he does friendly neighborhood stuff. And then sealing it off with something that is really true to the Spider-Man character, when he puts on that mask, no matter what he's dealing with, the loss of his mentor, his uncle dying, his girlfriend dying, he becomes a different person inside that mask. One where he deflects everything bad in his life with comedy, and that's what he does here, poking fun at the cops, saying, I'm too busy doing your jobs, guys. I can't be Iron Man. And I hope that line really sticks to it, that he's not becoming the next Iron Man, because I've always contended as a Spider-Man fan, I don't like how he has this Iron Man Jr. suit. Spider-Man is Spider-Man, and I don't want him to rely on technology. I want him to rely on his strength and wits, which is just good enough. You don't need a metal suit. But it also begs the question, what's going to happen to this Iron Spider suit in the movie? And my main guess is that this suit is going to run out of arc reactor power, that Spider-Man probably just can't keep up with the maintenance and everything Tony had to do to constantly keep this suit up to date. So I think maybe by the end of this battle, the suit could just shut down, probably have a little heartbreaking goodbye from Karen, the AI in the suit. Other main guess is he would just no longer like to wear it because it just reminds him too much of Tony Stark. A repeated shot of him flying through New York. Now, we know after Avengers Endgame, the world didn't look all too pretty, even though it was 5 years later. We still had boats everywhere, cars filled up in stadiums. They probably still could be rebuilding from the aftermath, but we're all really still guessing that that's going to be Oscorp Tower. Jumping to Happy Hogan, telling Peter Parker, look, Nick Fury's contacting you and you need to talk to him because the man is scaring me. I think it's just funny to picture that Nick Fury has every Avenger on his contact list and he's like, oh, I need Spider-Man for this one. Let me just call him up. And Peter just sending him to voicemail. But Peter makes it very clear he's going on vacation. He's taking this break, and we see shots of his classmates. Now, you have to remember, all these classmates from Homecoming to Spider-Man Far From Home were snapped during Avengers Endgame. That means Ned, Flash, MJ, because they are all the same age. If one of these characters was not snapped in Infinity War, that means they would have been 5 years older. So these kids would have gone from 15, 16 to 20 to 21, and that would make them look very different. I was hoping the trailer would show us a few classmates who weren't snapped, or maybe a teacher or two who was like, man, you guys were gone for 5 years, now I have to teach you again. But I'm pretty sure we're going to get a character or two like that in this movie. But that brings us to the holy hell revelation of this trailer that really has my anticipation for Spider-Man Far From Home through the roof. Nick Fury introducing Spider-Man to Mysterio, letting him know that this guy is from a different Earth, a different reality. The way he phrased it is that the snap broke reality, and there was 2 snaps in there, so there could actually be multiple things that led in from the multiverse. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Right now we're being told that Quentin Beck, Mysterio, is actually from a different Earth, and that in his Earth he's a hero, and that he's here to help us out with these elementals who could actually be other adversaries from different realities that crept into our main universe. And we have to stop right here and start listing the many possibilities of why this is happening. Okay, one, let's go with the obvious. Mysterio could be a lying son of a... We all know Mysterio in the comics is a fraud. He doesn't really have powers. He uses special effects. But with this added layer that he's from another dimension, could the possibility be that Jake Gyllenhaal's character is actually a good guy throughout the entire entire movie. And by the end of it, he says, hey, if I'm here from my reality, that means there's a me in your reality waiting to happen. And he might not be a good guy. So there's a real possibility we could get both Jake Gyllenhaals being good and bad. This one ending up in his reality by the end saying, hey, there's another one of me out there. I didn't start out so great in the beginning, so watch out. And then we get a same Jake Gyllenhaal in Spider-Man's reality who would be the bad guy. The other thing being thrown around is he could be lying about the whole thing and just heard about the multiverse and just wants to get access to it, wants to be put in a different reality, which is why he teams up with S.H.I.E.L.D. and fakes that he's from another place and he needs to be sent elsewhere. It would go with that theme of him being a false hero because we're all expecting this guy to betray Spider-Man at some point in this movie and to be the revelation that he actually brought the elementals himself. And the last thing that might have to do with outside the movie world is this is the last Spider-Man movie in the MCU according to the Sony contract that Marvel has with them. After this movie, they have to renegotiate and let us know if Spider-Man's going to continue in the MCU or if Sony's going to pull the plug and continue their universe with Venom and Morbius. So I have a strong feeling that by the end of this movie, Spider-Man could actually end up in a different reality. And this would be Sony's way to take Tom Holland out of the MCU, put him into the world where they have Venom, played by Tom Hardy. And this would be such a genius way for Sony to have Tom Holland, but it would really make Marvel fans like me upset. And the last big thing, this is most likely setting up the Spider-Verse right here, a multiverse, different realities with different Spider-Man. Do this movie. If you're setting up multiverse even once in a Spider-Man movie, you gotta be leading to the Spider-Verse, so don't be teasing us, Marvel. Another interesting thing about this is actually something very common with Mysterio in the comic book. Mysterio in the Ultimate Comic run was an android in that reality, and the real Mysterio was sending different versions of him in robot form to different realities to fight Spider-Man and control every universe. Whether Jake Gyllenhaal turns out to be a robot, well, we'll have to wait and see. From there, we jump to Peter Parker asking, why me, man? You have so many other Avengers. Why don't you get them? I'm just a kid on vacation. And Nick Fury points out a really good point. Basically, all the Avengers left are spread out or retired. I mean, you have Thor supposedly with the Guardians out in space now with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Tony's dead. Cap is basically retired and old. Anyone and anything that's really contactable is gone. And Spider-Man is the only one left, which would show how desperate Nick Fury is to get this mission done. We get some great shots of the upcoming elementals. We get Hydro Man, Molten Man here. Spider-Man in his stealth suit provided by S.H.I.E.L.D. But then we get a little snippet of Mysterio and Spider-Man at a bar just chilling, hanging out, talking to each other, just having a bro moment, which I actually really love right here. I'm sure there's going to be a great scene, and he's asking, what do you want to do with your life, man? I'm a hero too. You can talk to me. And he just lets him know, dude, I just want the girl, man. I've gone through so much. I just want to be with someone I have a crush on. That's a scene I'm kind of interested to see in the movie and how it plays out. But speaking of MJ, they go ahead and ruin it right here that MJ is pretty much aware that he's Spider-Man. It's no secret to her. You're always running away, and wherever we are, Spider-Man shows up, but you're not there. I guess, yeah, someone was bound to figure it out sooner than later. I just kind of wish they would have saved that for the movie. I don't know why they're giving so much away in this trailer, but there could be a lot of secrets left in the film. One of them being that MJ might be the daughter of Nick Fury. That's just a theory. Video down below or card right above me. From there, though, it's just a bunch of quick shots of Peter Parker dealing with the fact that I feel like I'm always putting my friends in danger. I don't know if I'm meant to have this double life of being Peter Parker and Spider-Man. He's always dealing with that duality, but something that happens during these shots is we get to look at a lab where Spider-Man looks like he's messing with stuff. And this just really reminds me of that scene when Iron Man 3 by the end where he gave a kid his own lab in his garage. I'm pretty sure Tony left it in his will that Peter Parker is always allowed to his technology, is always allowed to mess with him, and this might be Happy Hogan giving that to him, which is also my guess of how he's going to make his own suit, the one that's red and black in this movie. I have a strong feeling that this will be Peter Parker's creation and not something handed down to him from S.H.I.E.L.D., Tony Stark, or anyone else in this movie, that this will be the first suit that he'll actually make on his own. Ending the trailer off with what looks to be the big bad elemental in this movie. He's either built out of storm clouds, or he could be a combination of Hydro Man, Molten Man, and the Earth guy in this movie. And since the trailer revealed so much to us, it just ends with a little comedic line of Happy Hogan bringing the Avengers Quinjet to Peter's friend saying, you need to get on, we gotta get back to New York. But of course, hijinks ensues, and that's Spider-Man Far From Home. Honestly, guys, this was a great trailer. What a revelation that Mysterio's from a different reality. Really opens up the Marvel Universe and what it could be in the future. Aside from that, though, we also heard rumors that Mysterio might actually be a sorcerer from his reality, which opens up the door for Doctor Strange to show up here. He's had a good relationship with Spider-Man in the comic books before, so it'd be cool to see him here. But if there's anything I missed in this trailer that you guys caught that I didn't, go ahead and let me know down below. Be sure to leave your theories or where this could all lead. One thing that's pretty cool to remember is they teased Miles in the first Homecoming with Donald Glover being his uncle, and if he didn't get snapped, that means Miles is 5 years older in this reality and could possibly be in the same high school with Peter Parker. But be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.